So what is going on, guys? I am Black Ops Amazing. Welcome back to another video where today we are taking a look at the top 10 special zombie types in Call of Duty. There are around 20 different enemies in zombies. Obviously special ones are anything that is not a regular zombie, such as the Panzer, the Pentagon Thief, the Denizen, etc. I'm not going to be including things such as the Margwa, the Meatballs, or the Corrupted Keepers, since those are keepers or apothecans, not zombie types. And obviously, as always, these are, in my opinion, these are the top 10 best special zombies you can come up against in the game. So getting straight into this, in at number 10, we have the Denizens. Now, in no way am I saying these are the best, but if we don't include apothecans and keepers, then we're not really left with much more than 10 enemies that aren't zombies, so the Denizen was always going to come on this list. However, it is last. This is one of the most annoying little rat creatures. The Denizen is just one of the reasons why Transit is considered a bad map. I don't think there's anyone that's going to disagree that these come last. Whenever you go into the fog, they dig their way out of the ground and then fly through the air, jump on your head, and attempt to scratch your eyes out. This is especially annoying because going through the fog on its own is difficult, but then having these distract you, slowing you down whilst the zombies catch up, they're more annoying than they are difficult. They're pretty easy to kill, but the fact that they come at you every few seconds in the fog just makes it a bad experience. In the game files, these are actually referred to as the Screechers, probably because of the noise they make. As to what exactly they used to be, we're not 100% sure. They look similar to monkeys, but who knows. Anyway, moving on down into number 9, we have the Thrasher from Zetsubou no Shima. These, compared to the Denizens, are a bit more of a challenge. I call them bosses just because of how big they are, but if there was more enemies in the game that I could put on this list, the Thrasher wouldn't be here at all. But I will say he's probably 1% better than the Denizens. That doesn't really say much though. What I don't like about the Thrashers is how often they can spawn. They spread like a virus. You can have 2, 3, 4, even more of these on the map at the same time. They're not the hardest to kill, but you have to be accurate. Unless you're using the KT4, you have to shoot at the spores on their body, which, if you're being chased by zombies and these at the same time, can be difficult to do. They're also quite fast for the size. The worst thing about any big enemy is they shake the ground whenever they walk. I don't think they're a good addition to Zetsubou no Shima, but again, they had to come on this list. The only ones that really missed out in terms of zombie types are the Mangler from Gorokurovi. I absolutely hate that enemy, so there was no way it was making this list over the Thrasher, but that doesn't mean I like the Thrasher either. It's slightly bearable. One cool thing about them is they can eat you, which a lot of people don't know. If you get downed and the Thrasher gets close, it will put you inside of its stomach. But these things mutate, they spread, and they're a nuisance. Next up, in at number 8, I have the Monkeys from Ascension. Now, I was going to pick the ones from Shangri-La, although I wouldn't really count them because they don't have their own round, they just come randomly. That sounds really weird. They arrive randomly? That just sounds worse. They randomly? Okay, that one doesn't even make sense. I feel like a lot of enemy types at the bottom of this list are annoying. The Space Monkeys are exactly that. They are easy to kill, although they're very small, so your aim does have to be on point. They're not very fast though, but what they do is take away your perks. So if you've got like 4 perks, and Ascension is a pretty big map, so they're all spread out. If you're playing one person, it's near impossible for you to protect all of your perks on your own. If you're at Juggernog and the monkeys are hitting the Speed Cola perk machine, you've got to run there and shoot them off it before they take away your perk. But then they could be attacking the Juggernog perk machine whilst you're at Speed Cola, so you've got to run back. You've got to go back and forth a lot. If you're on higher rounds and you can afford to lose those perks, then it's not too bad. But if you're on those early rounds, you've just brought Juggernog, you don't have enough to buy it again, and they end up taking it away. Yeah, no thanks. They are easy to kill though, they're pretty funny. They come down from space on lunar landers, which turns the whole map or the sky red. Like I said, we also have monkeys on Shangri-La, but I didn't want to include both, so I had to pick one, and I decided that the space monkeys are just more of an enemy. The ones from Shangri-La can help you out. Moving on, down into number 7, we have the Panzer from, well, a few different maps, Origins and Horizon. They are different. Talking about the one from Origins, this one has a ranged claw attack which can grab out at you and pull you towards it. It also has a flamethrower, so I'd say it's a bit more close ranged, whereas the one from Horizon Tracker has a flamethrower and the claw is replaced by a shot charge. I don't know which one's worse. I think because of the mud on Origins, the Panzer on this map feels worse. I do really like this guy though. There's something about his character, the way he looks, that steampunk vibe, the bulkiness of him. He looks cool, but he is difficult to kill. On Origins, you don't want to be close to this guy, so trying to run away, it's hard in the tight areas, and then the open areas are filled with mud, which slow you down. Those two combinations aren't good. And then on Horizon, if he does hit you with the shot charge, well, say goodbye. Either he's going to get you, or the zombies will. So although he's difficult, I didn't put him higher up because there's just something about him that's cool. He's a challenge, which is good when it's not annoying. I'm going to say that word an awful lot. And he looks epic. So moving on, next up in at number 6, I've picked the spaceman, or the astronaut, from Moon. Now this one I feel might come as a little bit of a surprise because he's a zombie in a spacesuit, and he doesn't work like other enemy types. He's pretty similar to George Romero from Call of the Dead, where he just constantly follows you around the map. He doesn't have a certain round, he just spawns in near to the beginning and then will follow you until you kill him. Now killing him is relatively easy. If you've got a good weapon, it's Pack-a-Punch or it's the ray gun or a death machine, something like that, you can kill him pretty quickly, but he's just going to keep coming back every few rounds, so is it really worth it? When he does get close to you, he will hold you, headbutt you, that will then teleport you to a random location on the map whilst also giving you damage. So if you can avoid him and just stay away, he's not a problem. If you're inside of the dome or one of the more open areas on the map, you don't really notice him. Unlike George, I'm going to compare the two. The spaceman is quiet, so you do have to be more aware. But yeah, there's something about him that I like. The idea of someone constantly following you around is kind of creepy. For number 5, we've got the Pentagon Thief from 5. Another strange boss because he doesn't work like any other one that we've got in the game. He doesn't attack you personally. Instead, what he does is attacks your soul. He takes your weapon. He's going to spawn in on a certain round. You'll definitely know when this guy's coming, but you won't know where he's coming from. So he's going to sneak up on you, steal the weapon out of your hand, and then run away. You've got to chase him around the map, attempting to get your weapon back by shooting him. That's going to be a real shame if he takes your best weapon, such as the ray gun, and you're left shooting him with the M1911. But if you do manage to get your gun back, he's going to reward you, so it can be a win-win. But I'm not going to lie, it's very rare that I kill this guy. He's just very quick. He takes my best weapon. I've put him this far up because he doesn't actually harm you. So if you allow him to take your bad gun, if you just switch over to that before he actually comes, then it isn't a problem. You don't have to chase him if you don't want to, and he doesn't attack you, so if you don't want to bother with him, you don't have to. Plus, he looks cool. He's got that mad scientist vibe. We know that his actual identity is Yuri from Ascension, but for the longest time we had no idea who this guy was. It was such a great mystery. Of course, now it's been revealed. Yeah, I just think he's pretty cool. In at number 4 is George from Call of the Dead. Like I said earlier, he's pretty similar to the astronaut, so I'm not going to talk too much about him. He follows you around the map constantly. Unlike the astronaut, he's a lot harder to kill. I've never done it myself just because it takes so long, but I have seen other people kill him. When you do, he's only going to come back a few rounds later though. He's a bit more bigger and louder than the astronaut. You're going to know when he's coming, and even though he looks more epic, which is why I've put him a bit further up, he's also a bit more of a problem because if you shoot George, he's going to get angry, start chasing you, start running after you. That's until you lead him into a body of water, which can calm him down. The astronaut doesn't do that. I would say the astronaut's more relaxed, but in zombies you want a bit of a challenge, and George is just that bit more epic. Anyway, so into the final top 3. In at number 3, we've got the crawlers. Now, the main reason I've put these here is because these are the OGs. These are some of the original enemy types that have been in the game for the longest. These were first introduced in Kino der Toten. There are many different variations. We have the teleporting ones from Moon, the normal Nova 6 from Kino and other maps. We've also got the jumping jacks from Die Rise. I didn't want to split them up, I just decided to put them all in a group. They're all unique, some worse than the others. None of them are really hard to kill, but the main reason I put these here is just because these are the originals. These are some of the most famous enemy types in COD Zombies. And then finally, number 2 is Brutus. Personally, the best looking enemy in the game. He is one of the only zombies that actually talks. He is scary. He fits Mob of the Dead perfectly. Obviously, he's the prison guard, or the warden pretending to be the guard, but he's got character, he's massive, he makes the screen shake, he's absolutely crazy, he goes around the map locking down perk machines, the mystery box, buildable tables. The best thing about him is just his character, the fact that he can talk to you. So Brutus had to come in at number 2 because he's epic, but number 1 for me has got to be the Hellhounds. The original first ever enemy type we got. Introduced to us in Shinonuma back in World at War. They may not be the best looking, they're not the most difficult, they're not a massive challenge, but they're the first ever enemy that wasn't a zombie that we had. Plus their name, the Hellhounds, the noise they make when they spawn in, they really do look like a satanic dog, and if I didn't put these at number 1, it just wouldn't feel right. So there we go. Those are my top 10 enemy variations in Call of Duty. Let me know your thoughts about this list in the comment section below. As always, hopefully you have enjoyed. If you have, you know what to do, drop a like rating. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest videos on the channel, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until then, goodbye.